Good morning, and it's opening up to be a crazy day. Look, with what happened yesterday, the stock market is starting to act like the crypto market. I mean, we had this humongous drop opening up today, and the market seemed to get oversold. I mean, I had puts out the wazoo. I've been holding puts for about a week now, and they went way up, but it oversold, and the people that saw this just got so thirsty. I mean, I had puts, and I'm hedging my bets against my own puts. I bought a couple of different stocks that I had puts on for long term, because in the short term we're seeing this tremendous drop. But how long is it going to last? And as you saw yesterday, it didn't last very long. About 1 o'clock, we had steady growth. So the Dow Jones, it ended up closing up. You know what I mean? That was insane for how low it went to how much it came up just in the later hours of the day. That's nuts. But there's some big stuff happening today. That's what I want to talk about, right? Today, there's going to be a press conference. I believe it's Powell's going to give a press conference about the interest rates rising, right? And this is something that I was told by one of my mentors, right? In a rising interest rate environment, buying stocks and companies with no earnings is an extreme risk. And we all know that the retail investors, right, they love the next best thing. So a company with no earnings, to them, they don't care. They're dumping their money right into it. The problem is these millionaires and billionaires, they're skimming that money right off the top, So it's like, you got to be real careful with what you're buying, guys. I mean, people are buying these junk companies, and it's just. I mean, look at Kathy Wood. I mean, all of her stocks, they're not making money, right? They're long-term growth stocks, and it just seems like she's hemorrhaging money like crazy. Look at there's an inverse Kathy Wood ETF I talked about. It's called SARK, and I mean, that's been skyrocketing for the last, month? Yesterday, there was a turnaround. SARK went down yesterday, but is this going to last? I really don't. I don't have super strong leanings either way, because it just seems like the market could go any which way at this point. Personally, I still think it's bloated. I still think that we're heading towards more of a dip. That's what I personally think. Now, if you go online and you look at YouTube and you look at the news, and we all know that the corporate news is bought and paid for. The corporate news will print whatever the highest bidder wants. CNN, brought to you by Pfizer. You know how this goes now. I mean, they'll say whatever they want. So every time I see an article on Benzinga or CNN or Wall Street Journal, I'm always thinking, who paid for this? Where's the slant? What is this trying to push me to do? And that's a bummer, man. It's terrible to think that we can't even read the newspaper without thinking, what direction are we being pushed? I mean, I totally got rid of my Facebook. I just realized, man, this is controlling my brain, and even knowing that it is. I mean, it sounds crazy. I'm not like saying, gang stalking or something like that. But guys, it steers you, with these very subtle articles, subtle suggestions. I mean, it's steering you, and it was steering me. And I really look back at some of the things I was thinking a year ago, politically, financially, and I kind of suddenly saw the big picture, and I was like, wow, I'm being led around by my dong. Like, this is crazy, So you got to take these articles that are coming out with a grain of salt. I really think that, I really think we need some sort of alternate news, because even all of the crypto YouTubers, I mean, these guys are getting paid. These guys are getting paid to put a slant on whatever they're talking about. The big boy crypto, big boy, you could pay this guy and he'll talk about your cryptocurrency. He'll talk about whatever you want him to talk about. So, this is something that we really need to keep in our mind anytime we hear somebody pushing a stock or pushing a crypto. Now, the crypto market, personally, I think it's heading down. We know, let's see, what was it? July 19th, Bitcoin hit a low. It was like $30,000 for one Bitcoin. It dropped to about $28,000, right? That's when I took what fiat I had and I kind of spread it across the board. Polkadot, Cardano. I have Ether locked up on Coinbase like a douche, and I can't even get it out until Ethereum 2.0 comes out. But either way, but basically on July 19th, that's when I kind of spread fiat into the crypto market. And then I sold when I think Bitcoin got up to about $50,000, and I pulled out, And this is what I'm trying to do at this point, because it's just up, down, and it seems like it's the big guys siphoning money off the little guys. That's really the way it seems to me. We need to be real careful of what we do. I mean, we hear Michael Saylor saying this stuff, and of course he's going to pump Bitcoin. This guy, he owns tons of Bitcoin. That's his in his best interest. You know what I mean? Like, why would he say anything bad? Because the more higher Bitcoin goes, the higher his fund gets. And he looks like this brilliant guy. But personally, I don't see a floor yet. I don't think that the crypto market is down as low as it's going to go. I really I'm kind of waiting before I jump in and say, buy more cryptocurrency. I bought more Cardano. Cardano went under $1. I thought that was great. I'm long term. I'm digging Cardano. Long term, I'm digging Polkadot. I still am unsure about some of these other altcoins. What is it? Terra Luna. I have some of that that I recently got into, but I'm not thinking that it's going to go up from here. I wouldn't be surprised if Cardano goes down more. And the way I look at it, I look at Bitcoin. Everything seems to track, Bitcoin. As Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Other things tend to follow it, right? And I just think Bitcoin has farther down to go. I don't think we've hit a bottom yet before we're going to go back up. Now, stocks, right? Yesterday was nuts. I had puts. I took some profit around, 1 o'clock. I sold probably about 3/4 of my puts. And because they had gone up so much. I should have sold everything. I'm so mad. I just gave it all back in the last 3 hours of the day, right? But I still have those puts, and I'm gonna hold on to them, because when I buy options, calls, or puts, I buy them for a month. Okay, so at least I can watch them, because it tends to go up, it tends to go down, but at least I could get out with a little bit of profit, or at least break even. That's what I try to do. I'm not a great, I'm not a brilliant strategist when it comes to options. I'm learning them now, right? But I'm happy with how my puts turned out yesterday, except for the huge raise we had. It seemed like the market was oversold. So everybody saw these super low prices and they jumped in. And it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, here's a Dow Jones industrial average, right? I mean, look, one day it was at 33,000. And it goes up to 34. I mean, that's a $2,000 difference. That's huge, guys. That's huge movement, man. And in the beginning of the day, as soon as the market opened, everybody sold. It dropped the market down, but then the retail investors, they saw these low prices and they bought. Now, we don't want to get stuck holding the bag. Now, if Powell gives I'm not sure if it's today or tomorrow, but I believe it's today. There's a press conference. Well, it says press conference on the 26th at the Federal Reserve website, but I'm pretty sure that the information is going to start coming out today. I heard that there was going to be an announcement today, but it might be tomorrow. Yeah. Either way, when we know what's coming. We know that the interest rate hikes are coming. We know that's what they're going to talk about. I don't think it's going to be good news, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more sell-offs. And that the little bump that we saw yesterday afternoon, I would not be surprised if it disappears, right? It was crazy. It was a roller coaster ride yesterday, but I'm not confident that those gains are gonna be kept, right? I'm not confident, but you got to keep it in mind. I'm shorting the market right now. I'm shorting everything. Most of the things that I have my stocks, I'm shorting them. I still have my stocks for long-term growth, but I have puts sold on most of the things I have, and I did pretty good over the past week. And personally, this isn't financial advice, but I'm betting that it's going to continue going down over the next couple of days, and even maybe for the next couple of weeks. I want to talk about tax returns. Now, historically, when people get their tax returns, we see a bump in the market. We see money coming into crypto. This is what happened last year. The federal government was giving out all these stimulus checks, and every time a check would hit, that whole crypto market would go up. The whole Robinhood, the retail investors, everything would go up, right? There's not going to be money thrown around this year. It's not going to happen again. We're not going to see all these stimulus checks. So what does that mean? It means to me that people are going to start selling stock to pay their bills. People are going to start selling their crypto to pay their bills because people aren't going to have the money flowing around like they did last year. And I personally wouldn't be surprised if we see a downturn until the summer. Because people are going to realize when they start doing their taxes, they're not getting a big tax return. And then they're going to start tightening their belt because they were giving out the child tax credit. That's a loan on your tax return from this year, guys. People were getting a loan on their tax return. So I don't see a lot of tax returns coming in. I see the average American tightening their belt over this entire year because there's not going to be a lot of money floating around, and with interest rates rising, that's just going to scare people. Whether or not it actually is going to affect the dollar, yeah, it's gonna, but the psychological impact that's gonna have is much, much bigger. The average people are gonna hear interest rates rising, inflation, and they're going to get scared, and they're going to start putting their money in more solid assets. I mean, there's like silver mines are going up, oil companies are going up, assets, physical assets. I mean, the price seems to be raising. So anyways, my opinion, God bless. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.